Parker Cannon fundamentally changed me as a person.
What if I just like fuck around and try everything until something works? What if that is the key? What if it's so simple? Fearlessly try things until something feels right, because you won't know what feels right until you try all the things that feel wrong. At least I won't. I learn everything by doing. I have to learn something the hard way. If I'm learning something the easy way, I'm not learning. If I'm learning it by really suffering, then I get it. That's how I operate. I come from Soviet immigrants. We love to suffer. Maybe I'll go somewhere else now. And that's the intro to my vlog. What am I doing?
I just saw that Kanye West shared his list of betrayals, and people are riffing off that, making their own list of people that betrayed them. And I started thinking, who would I put on mine? And I immediately thought about Parker Cannon. And then I'm like, I can't name Parker Cannon on the internet. I don't want to start beef with Parker Cannon online. Me thinking that me and my 2,000 followers on Instagram could start beef with Parker Cannon. He is on my betrayal list. He did betray me, but Parker Cannon fundamentally changed me as a person. When Parker Cannon kicked the girl off the stage, physically kicked a girl off of the stage while the Story So Far was performing, that changed the course of my life for the better. I think that was like a really eye-opening experience for me. I grew up, I loved pop punk. Like, I loved pop punk, loved it. Around that time, that was what, like 2013, 2014, I was like really into pop punk. I had a college radio show. I just played that music all the time. I went to those shows all the time. I also at that time was taking like a feminist media class, and I think that those two things paired together ultimately helped me realize that I was a woman. That I was just like other girls. I think for a long time, oh, should I be using a microphone? This phone must be good enough to not. For a long time, I defined myself by my relation to this world of music that is created by men, for men, but ultimately uplifted by women. I said it. Pop punk is so interesting because it's guys writing songs about girls. And a lot of the songs are, she mistreated me and she's a whore. That is so crazy. Like, looking back at that time and the songs that I was listening to and the things that I was like screaming with my finger pointing aggressively, like at men elevated on a stage above me. It's so crazy. Do you look yourself straight in the eyes and think about who you let between your thighs? Shut up. How about you try making a girl come for once, huh? How about you try that? But I didn't think about it like that. But seeing Parker Cannon kick a girl off of the stage really just made me realize, oh, this is not a space for women. This space that I love and adore and really have grown up in, there's no room for women. And I think had that not happened, now I would probably be on the internet being like, rockstar girlfriend aesthetic, bandwife aesthetic, which I have complicated feelings about because I don't think that women should be defining themselves by their relation to a man. I think that you should be the rock star. Wow. I think you should be whatever you want to be. Instead of making like rockstar girlfriend content, I performed on the Warped Tour this year, doing stand-up comedy, not even doing music. I created a space for myself in a male-dominated music world as a woman who doesn't even play music. And that is because Parker Cannon betrayed me, because Parker Cannon kicked a girl off of a stage. Because if he hadn't, I mean, I don't know. That was a betrayal for sure, but ultimately a blessing. The whole world is so crazy, and I know it's changed a lot, and I do find myself revisiting it now. I look at it through a different lens with a fully formed frontal lobe, which is crazy also. And there were so few guys at the time making music about loving women, which is why I look back at like bands like Man Overboard, and I'm like, you guys, he loved girls. He loved girls. And those songs were just like, oh my God, I cannot help but love a girl. And some other songs of the time by other bands were not quite like that. And I, again, like I have no issue with, I don't know, anyone. And I know that that was all like a product of the time and it is what it is. But it was really interesting to be a girl growing up in that space. What you're inadvertently told is you can be one of three things. You can either be a girlfriend, a groupie, or a fangirl. That's kind of it. We did not have a lot of like women to look up to as role models there. Well, like, of course, Hayley Williams, of course, but it can't just be one. Hot take, at that time especially, it was really hard to avoid the internalized misogyny. Like, you're not even aware of it. So many people that growing up were like, well, I just don't like how girls sing. That was a genuine take from women too. I don't think that was true. I think that was just like a product of the time. I have no bad feelings. I want that to be clear. I wonder if I'll post this on the internet, and I wonder if anyone will watch it, and I wonder if people will get mad at me. If I post it on the internet, people are gonna be mad at me. That's just how that's cool. Looking back at that time is really interesting, and now I do stand-up comedy, and people will always ask me like, who are my main comedic influences? When I really think about it, I realize that my biggest influences in life have always been musicians, because I've always worshipped the world of pop punk. Like, Bowling for Soup was the first band that I ever loved, and the incredible thing about Bowling for Soup is that they are comedians. They are so funny. They have this like really specific brand of pop punk that is comedic, and it's funny, and they put on a funny show, and they write funny music. There's humor. The humor is just undeniably part of what they're creating. There was like Blink-182 doing like the Mark, Tom and Travis show. So much banter, and there was so much comedy as part of their world. And I've been listening to Mark Hoppus's book. Someone's at my door. Hello? Pardon the interruption. I've been listening to Mark Hoppus's book, and because I don't read, is what I was saying. I don't know how to read, but I know how to listen. I love when an autobiography is narrated by the person that read it or wrote it. See, I don't know how to read. He talks about how Steve Martin was like a big influence for him, and I'm like, ugh, comedy and pop punk. They've all just gone, because Blink-182 like influenced everything that came after them, and if Blink-182 was influenced by comedy, therefore comedy kind of influenced pop punk. So there's my thesis. Now I do comedy, which is just me kind of existing in another male-dominated space, but I was prepared for that. So grateful for Parker Cannon for being at the top of my betrayal list, for kicking a girl off stage, for opening my eyes to the fact that it was a weird time to be a woman in that space, and for making me find my own thing, forcing me to stop defining myself as a pop punk fan and start creating something on my own. Because I also think, and this is probably a conversation for another long-winded video, I think that in any type of romantic relationship, oftentimes we are attracted to people who are not necessarily what we want in a person, but are what we want in ourselves. So I think for a long time I was obsessed with musicians, not because I like worshipped musicians, but because I wanted to be that. And I don't know if I wanted to play music or if I just wanted to like be in a space where I could make other people feel as good as I felt hearing music and being a part of something, especially something that is sort of like a counterculture and like exists outside of the confines of like what is acceptable in the mainstream. Because that kind of is like, you know, the ethos of any sort of punk, even pop punk, is still like, hey, we're different. Like, oh, we're outcast. Whatever it is that is us, we are embracing being different from what is the norm. And I think that really excited me. So this is me being probably too deep and not deep enough about feminism and pop punk and Parker Cannon and my betrayals in the world and all that. And the Story So Far is playing this weekend, and I kind of want to go just to pay homage to who I once was and who I could have been, and be so grateful for who I am now. Maybe I will. Concert tickets are so much more expensive now than they used to be. Anyways, Parker Cannon, thank you for kicking that girl. To that girl, I hope you're okay. And I hope that changed your life. And I hope you're doing something cool. I want to talk to you, babe. And to any girl that saw that, yeah, sister, that was crazy, huh? And to any boy that saw that, to anyone that really like affected them at all, like slay. And to anyone who that did not affect, yeah, okay, thanks Parker, love you, mean it.